See if I can find my brother. Busy, busy night tonight because I've been lazy all morning. Okay. All right. Okay. So I was just on Shadow's show for a little bit, but he had to take off and deal with the real world, and I have to deal with the real world later. So I figured I would do a little chatting now while the wife's at work. Because, I mean, I have to vacuum today. And even though I don't think she cares, I don't like to make too much racket on purpose while she's, working. Because, a lot of times she has to take calls and talk to, you know, CEOs and stuff like that, like big people. And the last thing I think anybody needs is to hear me rattling around the house. But yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to tonight. Is there's Timmy. Timmy is yeah, I'll be doing the vacuuming and
Hey,
hey, when did you get Venger Satanis as your like thumbnail?
what? That's not Venture.
Are you sure?
Yeah, that's Kane.
Yes, I know, Tim. But you know what?
Eh,
The joke was it kind of does look like Venger.
I guess I don't know. I don't see Venture that much.
Well, he's a bald guy with the same kind of facial hair. Okay.
Okay, fair. Maybe he's a big fan of Command and Conquer.
I don't know. I think he might be a bigger fan of like Anton LaVey, who was also a bald guy with basically that kind of facial
Or
hair.
that.
Uh, yeah, one thing I've learned from like history and reading Warhammer books is all the bad guys are evil, like
Uh,
and
uh,
bald.
yeah, I was gonna say. You mean they're bald with a goatee?
Yeah, yeah, even without the goatee. Hey, Sacha's tabletop music. Well, look at that.
I know in
Oh, that's scotches. So that's not scotches. Sacha. That must be someone else, unless it is the same person. I don't know. Well, how are you doing, sir? Um,
maybe he changed his name. I mean, you can do that.
you can do that. Heaven knows I've done it a dozen times over the years. I remember when I was role play the right way, and then I was Czar James, and then I was James, the prophet of the OSR.
For the longest time, I'd go by the Danny Roy, which was a kind of a dumb name.
And you were, of course, our beloved Litholdus.
Yeah.
I am putting a little primer, I'll show you right there, on the CAV units from Reaper because a lot of them very, very easily, can be used for battle tech. It is Solja. Okay.
Okay, so yeah.
Okay. So my initial instincts are right. And you started a channel. That means I'm going to have to go to it and give you a sub and tell other people to give you a sub. Um, so yeah, I'm just randomly doing stuff. I got this lady done. I need to go ahead and man, there's a couple of details I could do, but otherwise, yeah, she's pretty much done. Maybe a little neatening up, but
Ooh,
just a
neat.
thief in a big blue cape.
Now, James, my last game was Bloodsworth game, and we had to fight a bunch of skeletons with sapphires on their head.
Uh,
You had to take the sapphire out or destroy the sapphire to kill the skeletons too.
okay, that sounds like not fun.
It was okay the first time. The second time, we kind of had them in a corner, and only two people could attack them. They had to pull out and let the skeletons come to us so we could actually kill them.
Right.
It was fun then.
Well, you know.
But hey, at least we got a few sapphires out of it.
Right. That would be a hard to fight series of undead, you know, the fact that the only way to kill them is to um, remove a gemstone from their head.
Remove or destroy. You could destroy the
Yeah.
gemstone, but well, you know, we were lucky the first time because we kind of one of our divine casters, turned undead, three of them, so we didn't have to fight them all at once.
Right. Sent some running away, but then they came back.
They didn't come back. We had to chase them down, and we had them in the corner, which was
So
not
that's
the best. Yeah, it wasn't the best thing because our two guys who couldn't use knives was in the front line having to deal with them, and yeah, they couldn't like drop them permanently, so they had to pull back and allow us to allow them to funnel out to where we could all attack them.
You know, this is why I always say, if you're playing a warrior type, carry multiple types of damage.
Yeah, but clerics and monks can't use bladed weapons.
Well, I mean, skeletons are very resistant to bladed weapons, so that's not a bad deal.
Yeah, I know, but the thing was we had to pry out the gems with a knife.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. See, if I use that kind of monster in my campaign, the cleric with the two-handed hammer would just smash the shit out of them.
Yeah.
Like the gemstones, even. He'd just be like headshot. I already know how, my players act. And the cleric, his favorite thing is to hit things with a big ass hammer. That's
It is fun. That's
kind of his deal.
That's what my cleric does.
And
that hammer, I don't really got the best hit on that thing, but I hit it. I hit things with the hammer.
Yeah, he hits things with the hammer, and then he's got a sword in his belt just in case, and a shield strapped to his back. So it's either the two-hand hammer, but if he needs to, he can pull out a shield and go board. Sword and board if he needs to.
I got a hammer and shield. It was a smaller hammer though.
Yeah, but like I said, we're talking clerics, which are basically the same, except not exactly the same.
Yeah. I get what you're saying though. I like that kind of cleric too. I like to have like the big heavy hitting kind of cleric too.
Well, one thing about it is, like you said, okay, you don't hit maybe often or whatever.
I don't hit hard and I don't hit often. I'm more of in Bubba's game. I'm more of a tank.
Right. Cleric. See, what Hungar's cleric has done is, even though he might not have the same fighting ability as a warrior, when he hits, he does as much damage as a warrior does.
Which is
so it's all a matter of like that. When he hits, he wrecks shit. Because his strength is actually pretty good. It's his second highest attribute. So, he does have the bonus to hit from strength, which is only +1, but then he's got like +2 or +3 to damage. And he's swinging a great hammer, which does die 10. So he's got like die 10 +3 damage. So that's what I'm saying. He's kind of just putting it all out there with the way he fights. It's like, yeah, I may not hit as much as the fellow warriors, but when I hit, people feel it, you know?
Yeah. Best I can do is a D6 plus 3.
Right. Well, that's just the game you're playing, you know?
Not just the game, but the weapon. Not sure, but I'm pretty sure as a cleric I could still use like a big two-handed weapon. It's just I'd probably be better off using a hammer and shield.
Well, the hammer and shield is a great option because, like you said, you get the armor class.
Oh, do I get the armor class? Plus 3 defender, shield, plus 1 shield, plus 2 plate.
Right. Whereas with Hungar's cleric, which is named like Draz Al Ghul or some shit like that,
Drazagul.
that actually was a random name generated from the book.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah. Apparently, Ghoul, Ghuul, is a pretty common name for Hyperboreans.
That's fair, I guess, but it's kind of funny because, I mean, I'm like, where's the
Batman.
Lazarus pit? Yeah.
Batman, right?
Yeah, I was like, where's the Lazarus pit?
I guess he is the Lazarus Pit
Ah,
since he can, in theory, bring people back.
yeah.
But so as a generic cleric in Hyperborea, he has access to. There's none of the rule about clerics can only use blunt weapons in Hyperborea. You know,
Fair.
clerics can use all kinds of different things, and
I kind of do find it a little weird and funny that they can't use anything but blunt
well,
weapons. It kind of doesn't make sense.
there's an arm in front of everything. It's because the creator of the original game based clerics on like the Knights of Spidler.
Hmm.
And that's why they had that whole thing, you know, the must use blunt weapons, whatever, right? And then if you played in Forgotten Realms or Greyhawk, there was a rule that came out much later where it said any cleric can use the favored weapon of the deity that they follow, which meant all your lawful good deities of Heronius could use longswords.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then your followers of Hextor, which is the kind of cleric I made, you could have a cleric that could use a Morning Star. And normally they can't use a Morning Star because it's not a blunt weapon, you know, the way the game means. It's covered in spikes. So, you know, that was a thing. But like I say in Hyperborea, which Bloodworth is talking about running again at some point.
Yeah, he said that yesterday.
Clerics, generic clerics, because of course you've got like the rune carver, the shaman, the druid, etc. Right? Not only do they get a wider range of weapons, but and I think I mentioned this to you. We were talking about every 4 levels they can pick any weapon
Yeah.
to be proficient with. So when we talked about you and I think we're talking about how a mage at level 4 could become proficient with like a longbow.
Yep.
So if you want to min max Hyperborea, say you want to play a mage, you definitely want the second highest attribute you get to be Dex.
Yeah.
Because one, it's going to give you more of a chance of not being hit on the occasion. And two, if you get to level 4, now you're getting bonuses to hit with your bow. And that can be very, you know, that can be very good. I did not come up with this min-maxing secret. Other people did. And I just read it and said, yeah, that's actually pretty damn smart, you know. Have your freaking mage running around with a longbow when he doesn't have spells to cast or doesn't want to use particular spells in a certain battle. He stands in the back and just picks off people who are not engaged in combat.
Kind of wish that was in Dragon Slayer right now. My mage would be using a bow.
Right. Well, I mean, you can still use darts. They suck, but they're better than nothing.
Darts or a sling, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, better than nothing. Yeah, Hungar's cleric can use a sling, but not darts. And the mage in the group, I don't know if he can use darts. He can use a spear though, just because he's a crowmancer and they can have a spear. But it's like he wouldn't need to carry darts because he can just summon ice darts. Oh, wow. A Mithras game where I am a young knight of the Order of the St. John in Malta. So when you say Malta, I think of when the Turks tried to conquer Malta. Is it that kind of period?
Sounds like it.
Sounds like it. Yeah,
That sounds like a cool thing, though.
the Turks did try to conquer Malta. I don't think it worked out.
Nope.
But people forget that there was like a huge period of centuries where the Mediterranean was basically owned 100% by the Muslims.
Yeah.
It was so bad that for the longest time, like Europeans pretty much just couldn't even travel in the Mediterranean.
Italy was being raided and pillaged. People were being captured and
Taken
enslaved.
away and drawn into slavery. I mean, it was so bad that in the the late 1700s, certain American presidents sent ships full of Marines over there to let them know we weren't really going to have that anymore.
Yep.
And so, yeah.
Yeah, at first we were like, "Hey, can we just make a deal? We're not part of the Europe. We can be friends." And it's like, once they're like, "No, you're infidels," we're like, "Oh, okay then."
Yeah, yeah, we tried to make a deal, didn't work. So then we just sent our Navy and Marines in to destroy everything. And eventually
14
they're like,
Marines can topple a government.
yeah. So eventually they're like, okay, here's the deal. You know, we will not attack any ship with an American flag on it. A lot of people don't know that because of that. It was a law in the United States for the longest time that Muslims were not allowed to hold any political office. And that prohibition only got removed in the 80s. So
Should never have been removed.
uh, I tend to agree, but yeah, because, well, state of Florida recently passed a whole thing about that. Like, you know, not necessarily outlawing Islam, but declaring most of their organizations to be terrorist organizations. And down here, we did outlaw Sharia. Sharia law is not a thing in Florida and won't be. Uh, you know, and it's basically because, like what's happening in a lot of other states, people come in, they live there, they get elected, and then as soon as they get elected, they just start passing laws that benefit them, and not only benefit them, but make it where they can import more of them and build more of their holy sites, which I don't think are very holy, but that's what they do. And then you end up with like Dearborn, you know what I mean, or Minneapolis, and it's like, yeah, Texas had to pass a law about that shit because apparently there were groups down there that were literally like making their own towns and stuff, and living under a whole different cultural legal system than what we do. So the Texans are like, yeah, no, we're not doing that. So, but it is part of what is the rule? Tukad, uh, uh,
Are you talking about the Lai Takia?
Yeah, it's not only that, but it's where you go in and when you pretend to be friendly as you build up your power base and population and infiltrate
Yeah, I think
everything.
that's still under the Takia.
And then once you've got the power, you take over and force the people that you infiltrated to do what you say. And yeah, the current year, 1534, young nobleman, eldest son of my family, who left for Malta out of a sense of personal obligation. And you've been there almost 2 years. Yeah, yeah. The Ottomans attacked Malta numerous times, but I don't remember. I don't think they ever actually took it, but they sure tried numerous times.
I know about that time is where a lot of the third or fourth children of noble family would usually go to gain land and a title for themselves.
Well, I mean,
That's what you did back then. If you were the third or fourth child, you're not getting any real inheritance. You're just gonna have to work on it yourself.
well, a lot of times they would send the second son to become a priest.
Yep. Second son usually became a priest. Third or fourth, you're just like,
You're probably going to end up, maybe if you and your brother have a decent relationship, leading part of the army or something.
yeah.
But during the period he's talking about, yeah, it was when uh, the caliphate and everything, shortly after they get crushed at Vienna, and by your favorite people from Poland. And that's when
Wing to SARS.
Islamic power starts to really withdraw away from Europe,
I
and,
mean,
and a lot of that has to do with technology too.
yeah, the winged hussars were just have to be my favorite cavalry in history.
Yeah, they're cool enough that Sabaton wrote a song about them.
Yep. Gotta say, to be fair, also the winged hussars were actually able to keep doing what they did, while most other groups were getting rid of their cavalry.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they were just cool. I think everyone can agree that they were just pretty darn cool.
most other most other groups were getting rid of their cavalry because the lances that they were using were just too short, and it was mainly about that pikeman. I think at that point, wasn't it?
Well, I mean, that's kind of a weird thing about history, how things, it's like what goes around keeps going around. It's like, think about how the Greeks fought big ass pikes.
Yep.
And well, first it was just hoplites, but then they become sarissa, so big ass pikes. And then the Romans broke that, and then everyone fought like the Romans. And then at some point in the medieval period, the Swiss showed up with big ass pikes, and so the pikemen started dominating the battlefield. Even after, like firearms become a thing,
Yeah, your pike and shot was a very popular tactic back then.
right? Big pikes, and then guys with arquebuses or whatever, and the Japanese did it too. You know,
Yep.
they had Ashigara with big ass pikes, and then Ashigara and sometimes samurai would You know,
I think Oda was like the Oda clan was like the ones that adopted the best, though. Many would try to adopt their own strategy, but the Oda kind of came up with the best strategy for it.
well, there you go then.
It was especially devastating against the Imagawa. Imagawa thought, oh, this would be an easy win. And then the Oda came out and, yeah, it didn't turn out well.
Right.
Their superior numbers did not help.
Well, and the one weapon that never ever lost, like left service, if you want to be like a way about, it's the spear. It's probably one of the first weapons ever made, and we use it to this day. Except now, you know, we call it attaching a bayonet to a rifle. But when you attach a bayonet to a rifle, you are just creating a short spear.
Yep.
So it's like, you know, the more things change, man, the more they stay the same. Domini de mihi verectum et Constantium and tenebris lucem tuum quodero and prolio passum tuum decidero cormium confirma ut viam rectam teneum. All right. So it's something and virtues of Constantium, Constantinople, or Constantine. Tenebris, okay. I thought Tenebris had something to do with darkness. Oh, well, here we go then. Yeah, Lord, give me strength and perseverance in the darkness. I seek your light. Yeah, lumen or lucem. In the battle, I desire your peace, strength, my heart, so that I may keep to the right path. Yeah. Yeah. Confirma ut viam. Viam is path. So keep to the right path. Yeah. Which, I mean, the English translation isn't necessarily exactly the words, because confirma might be, you know, we might say it, you know, like, you know, in keeping to the right path, but it actually is the root word of confirm, you know, and via or viam, that's yeah, that could be path, road. Yeah, my Latin sucks, but I mean, it doesn't suck so much that I can't kind of uh, get a lot of it. So yeah, virtutem. So that's not virtue. That would be like virility. So yeah, he's asking for strength. Da mihi. So yeah, me. And then et. So constantium is perseverance, coming from the root word for constant. So perseverance, constance. Got it. Okay. That's a cool prayer, man. Like I said, though, I suck at Latin. It's probably been 30 years since I even thought about it.
You know,
I spent most of my teen and 20s learning to read Hebrew. And I don't even remember very much of that. And what Russian I know is very basic. It's like you posted that, and I can say placebo, you know, thank you. And I can say, hey, not your echo, Privyet, you know. So little things, but nothing. You know. If you made me really mad, I could be like, hey, Suka or Blin.
Sukabliat.
Well, Suka Bliat, but you know what? Blinny, which is like pancake. Well, it's more like a crepe that you stuff with stuff. A lot of times made out of buckwheat flour. If you just say Blinn, it's like saying the F word.
Hmm. Well, talking about Rome, though, in my game I started to make it my own legionary army.
Good. I mean, the game he's playing is kind of like Baptism of Fire, but
Yep.
400, 500 years after.
Yep.
Because in Baptism of Fire, it's basically Christian. Poland is the center that you start in,
Yep.
but the Rus have converted also under King Vladimir of the House of Rurik. But the Poles are Latin and the Kievan Rus are Orthodox or Greek. And so there's a lot of interesting player character stuff there. I really like that game, just no one I know wants to play it with me. So I don't. But if I could get a group at my table that was like, yeah, I mean, they all created characters, but then before we started playing, they're like, to be fair, really, we don't actually want to do this. And I was like, they were going to do it just because of my excitement for it, but
Well,
I probably could have forced them. I could have. I could have been like, no, this is what we're playing, man.
but then you were like Hyperborea.
Huh?
Then you were like Hyperborea.
Well, after they wouldn't play that and everything, and I forget what we were even playing before Hyperborea. Yeah, they were like, I was reading about it because I've owned the book since they were released. I just never really looked at it. And I told them, I said, check this game out. You can do this, this, and this. And the players were actually excited for it. So I went with the game that they were actually excited to play,
Yeah.
because that seemed like more of the good guy thing to do.
I'm still trying to think about my troop composition. I'm thinking a few like Palatine guards, some cataphract, and a main legionary army.
Well, Cataphract, I mean, that would not be East or Western Rome at all.
No.
That's Eastern Rome right there.
Yep.
Specifically, the Eastern Romans stole the idea of cataphracts from the Persians.
Fair enough, but they work.
Yeah, they worked because the Romans, before the split, they were constantly at war with Persia.
Yeah.
The Sassanids or whoever, and then, when Rome split into the two, the Eastern Empire was like, yeah, cataphracts, they kick ass. Let's make some.
But yeah, the Palatine guards are really good archers. Not the best, but pretty good in the game.
Right.
And the legionaries are just like some really good tier 5 infantry.
See, the only thing you're missing is Varangians.
Varangians, huh? What would be the Varangians?
Well, for Eastern Rome, Varangians were typically Russians or Swedes, Scandinavians, whatever, that would travel to Constantinople and then take an oath of loyalty to the emperor and fight for the emperor of Constantinople as his elite heavy infantry. And there are numerous historical battles where it really came down to the Varangians.
I wonder if that's what the Metelian Guard's supposed to be then.
Maybe. But
Metelians, I think they were called, but I don't know.
If they're carrying giant round shields and two-handed axes and spears and shit, that's Varangians.
Nope, I would have to go actually to Sturgia to get those.
Now, most modern day people, they assume every Varangian was actually like a Norseman, but a huge portion of them were actually Rus or Russians.
And that's why I would say going to Sturgia instead of the new Nord faction, because Nords are just like Vikings. Well, Sturgia is kind of the turned into like a pseudo, what you call it, Rus
Right.
faction.
Yeah. So yeah,
So if I
like
wanted a super accurate, I'd have to go to Sturgia, pick up a few line breakers, I think they were called.
yeah, my Byzantine army that I built has like a block of 10 or 20 Varangians. Uh,
Here's another thing: should I pick up a few Bucellari or not?
they sound like gunmen,
They're not gunmen; they're horse archers.
and they're called Fusilieri. Yeah, that's
Bucellari, not Fusillary.
well, yeah.
What the original Roman name was like someone who eats a certain type of food. I
Yeah,
forgot what it
I
was
don't
exactly.
even know. I would have to look at my army list. But like
Check
mounted
it again.
archers were called something. I think it started with a T. It was like Traposians or something. And then the cavalry are
Oh yeah,
your
biscuit
average
eater.
cavalry, and then the heavy cavalry are the cataphract or cataphracti. But then again, I'm even worse with Greek than I am with Latin. So
So yeah, they were biscuit. The name was literally biscuit eater.
biscuit eaters.
Yep.
Hmm.
They were mainly escort troops. Let's see here.
See, in Byzantium, they were flankers and harassers. Their horses were rarely armored. They were rarely armored except in cloth armor. So think like a gambeson. And the helmets they wore a lot of times were just made out of thick cotton. Um, but their whole deal was to try to flank around and unload their arrows at people and also prevent the opponent from doing the same thing.
Yeah,
So,
the purpose of these would be mainly kind of harass like skirmisher archer, skirmisher cav.
right. That's exactly, yeah. Now, oddly enough, um,
Huh, that's weird.
during some periods of the Eastern Rome Empire, um, cataphracts themselves would carry bows. But the idea was they would fire the bow and then immediately charge with their melee weapons. And the theory was that while their opponents had their shields up to protect from the incoming volley, they would close the distance and crush them.
Hmm.
I don't know how well it worked or not, but that was the theory.
Well, they did do some improvements on the AI for the legionaries. At least they gave the legionaries two pilum instead of one, and they'll throw one pilum and keep the other one for cav.
Yeah.
So, so it's a nice thing where they won't just throw all their pilum or hold them and never to use them.
Yeah. There's something you almost never see in video games about Rome
What's that?
or legionnaires, and it is this: many Roman legionnaires carried basically long darts strapped to the inside of the shield,
uh,
a scutum. Yeah, sometimes it generally be like three or four of these things. They were about a foot long, pointed. They were fletched on the back, and they had a lead weight around the front to give extra weight to the actual dart, right? And a lot that was kind of a thing they would do. They would just chuck these darts, you know?
yeah, that would be cool if they had that. I would have added that instead of the second pilum. Have them have one pilum, these like a few of these darts, and
Right.
play more like that.
Yeah, the darts a lot of times again they would use against cavalry and whatever, uh, just chuck lawn darts out there, and the pilum or pilum, however you say it, a lot of times was used against troops that had shields
Hmm.
because a pilum, if you look at it, it's designed to break about halfway back, right?
Ah.
You've got the long iron point, you've got a weight behind it, usually made out of lead, and behind that you had a joint um, that was a rivet that was loose, and then you had a wooden peg, right? And the idea, as it worked, was if you're facing an enemy unit that does shield walls and stuff, right? You chuck the pilum, and it, in theory, goes through the enemy shield, and then the little lever bit there, that wooden peg breaks, so that the handle is just flopping around, crazy style, right? Like on a hinge.
Yeah.
And the second part is that the iron head of the pilum was soft. So when it would go through a shield and then that would happen, a lot of times it would bend. And believe it or not, in many battles, the people the Romans were fighting that had their shields would be forced to drop the shield because of how burdensome and just a pain in the rectum it was to try to, carry a shield that's got like, you know, a soft, bent up, iron head sticking through it, and the whole haft of the pilum bouncing around. Coke free since, all right, found you on Facebook. That's how I found your YouTube and Twitch. Can you play idle restaurants for YouTube playables? Can you play idle restaurants? I don't know what that is, idle restaurants.
I do not know either.
If it's a game, I have not heard of it.
Yep.
But hey, how you doing? Dropping in. I am currently primering BattleTech figures. This is a what's it called? It's mostly used by House Lao, Vindicator or whatever. I'm probably going to camo it up like your General House Lao. But Mithras in Harn. Oh, I don't know if you saw this, Satya, but I got a letter the other day. I guess what's his name? The guy that does Stars Without Number and everything like that is doing a Harn book for the elves. Coochie, rock and roll. So anyway, because I've basically, backed every Kickstarter that uh, he has ever, done, Crawford, but not the one that worked at, TSR, the good one. Um, I always get the, hey, did you know that Kevin Crawford is, and it's Harn. And that, how is Hyperborea? It is amazing. I love it. My players all love it. Uh, DM Bloodworth loves it. Pretty much anyone who's read it loves it. It's Hyperborea can be whatever you want it to be. So I play it dark because I am very much a Lovecraft fan. So I do lean into a lot of the Lovecraftian and Clark Ashton Smith's Hyperborean stories and stuff. But I temper it with a lot of R.E. Howard type stuff. So Conan. Um, but yeah, you could, I mean, Hyperborea could literally be like Thundar the Barbarian, or it could be just straight up Conan, or it could be as weird as you want it to be. See, Coochie, I think you're one of our Canadian bros, so I can't help you out, unfortunately. Now, my bro Cold Iron Skillet, he did a lot of work for me, and as a kind of a payment, I bought him the bundle. But he's the one that does all my thumbnails and shit. So, and I like them a lot. The thumbnails, especially the newer ones where I'm like a House Merrick pilot. Huge fan. Huge fan. Like the last one, I'm in the pilot seat of the Warhammer, and I've got like a bag of jerky from Bucky's. So he combined two of my favorite things: BattleTech, actually three: BattleTech, Free Worlds League, and beef jerky from Bucky's. That's got to be three of my favorite things. Oh, you're a Virginian? Well, then I don't know. If I think about it and end up with some extra whatever copy or anything, I will let you know. Even though you are a Virginian, which are some of the best and worst people in the history of the United States. A lot of my heroes come from Virginia, like Jefferson and Washington and Lee. And I'm learning to not despise on West Virginians too much. I have to learn to not carry on like familial hatreds. And if you live on the eastern side of Kentucky, it is very common to hate West Virginia. Yeah, I mean, there's like a lot of great Americans, maybe even more great Americans than any other state come from Virginia. And the first of my relatives that come to the United States landed in Virginia and moved to what was part of the Crown Colony of Virginia. And then later on, it was split and they named it Kentucky. A lot of people don't know this because they've never been to Colonial Williamsburg in Virginia, which I have multiple times because my wife loves it. Yeah, Kentucky, parts of Ohio and Tennessee, even some parts of Illinois used to be part of the Crown Colony of Virginia. Yep. And then at some point, they were like, nah, we're going to split this shit up.
Yep, they split it up into multiple states instead of one big state.
Yeah, the way they did Tennessee was crazy. They just basically, for the long length of it, they just basically found like certain longitudinal or whatever lines and just said, yeah, this. Yeah. And on one end of it's a river, and on the other end of it's a river. And it's just like, all right, everything between these two lines, Tennessee.
I like how I heard the story about how the Canadian border was made.
Oh, they were pretty terrified for a while. I told you about that, right?
Yeah.
During the gold rush, Americans were just flooding in to the western parts of Canada, and the Canadians were starting to get worried because there were actually more Americans in like the Yukon than there were Canadians. And so they were sending Mounties in, and basically they started deporting Americans. I love Tennessee too. Tennessee is a great state. And the fact that they don't have a state income tax and everything like that just makes it even more attractive. That's where Hungar lives, my brother. He lives in Tennessee, but he lives so close to Kentucky that he can drive to my mom's house in like an hour. So
Tennessee's got to be better than Georgia.
Georgia is like, here's the rule for Georgia: the further away from Atlanta you are, the better.
Yeah.
But if you're around Atlanta, you're going to get all of the shit that you didn't want to get from, like, you're going to get constant freaking jams. Yeah, Florida is where I am now. And I know a lot of like people from other states consider Florida to be like a police state or something. But the reality is, it's just our government down here doesn't take shit the way, northern governments do. So if you come down to Florida and you start acting a fool and the cops get called, or heaven help you, state troopers or something, you're going to be in trouble because they don't play games. They will snatch your ass right out of a car like in seconds flat, and you will get prosecuted. It's not like these states where they do the merry-go-round with the judge. Not here, man. Plus, here everyone automatically can concealed carry. You don't need a license. You don't need
Yep.
anything. You can just walk
Kentucky's
around.
like that too.
Now they get upset if you carry a gun openly,
Which is weird.
but yeah, you can concealed carry all day long. We have weird rules about that. Like if you're going hiking or camping, you can carry whatever you want openly. And fishing counts. So if you wanted to, say I wanted to go down to the nearest lake or something to fish, I could put my AK on my back and do it. The problem is you are going to get contacted by the police. They are showing up because the second you do that, some old person, generally from up north, New York, we got a lot of New Yorkers here, is going to call the cops and be like, there's a guy down at the lake and he's got a assault rifle. And then the cops have to come out, and depending on whether they want to be which way, you might have a little bit of a problem with them because sometimes, they don't know the laws very well themselves. But then another thing that'll happen is they'll just be like, why did you bring this out here? Come on, dude. This is starting trouble. So that's basically the more lazy cops. They're just like upset because you made them deal with some shit they'd rather not dealt with. And they're going to be a way about it. But my interactions with the police in Florida, which have been many, have always been good. Even when they were arresting me, they were always kind of cool about it. And for my part, I just didn't speak. So there's that. I am currently painting. Right now, I'm primering this big bastard right here. And he's super tall. You can see how tall he is next to other. Let's put him in frame. Like this guy is literally like a shoulder and head taller than the other figures. So that means I'm going to paint him like an albino. I'm going to give him purple eyes, white hair, or at the very least, a really, really pale yellow. And he will be an 8-foot tall, maybe Hyperborean warrior. Because the Hyperborean people in that setting tend to be 7+ feet tall, but they all look like Elric of Melna Benet, so they're all like albinos with purple eyes and whatever. So, yeah, this guy will be a Hyperborean, possibly a barbarian, possibly something else, I mean, it could be a warlock, which is a very common class for Hyperboreans. And for those of you who don't know, that just means a fighter mage. So yeah, he could definitely be like if I were going to play this guy's my personal character, I would make him a Hyperborean. I'd make him freakishly tall, and I would make him a what they call a death soldier, which is a warlock whose actual preferred form of magic is necromancy. And then if I got to pick my first spell, it would be Skeletal Companion. So that, you know, while I'm wandering around being a badass with my great sword, I could also have a skeletal companion to follow me around, carry stuff, maybe fight, whatever. Now, in some towns that might be frowned upon, but in like other towns that would be normal. Like if you were walking through Cremorium and you saw someone walking with like a skeleton following them, carrying whatever for them, in Cremorium, that would not even be considered like weird. That would just be the thing. And if you went to like I think the Ixion or whatever area, there's actually more undead in that kingdom than there are living people. So again, you know. Um, However, if you went to like the city where the Celts rule, or a city where like I forget the name of it, but that is the capital of the Cimmerian people, they would probably be like, "What in the f is this shit?" You know. Or if you went to like, the Roman city, what are you doing? When you choose to play a fighter mage in Hyperborea, you actually get to choose um, what tradition of magic that you want to use. So you can become a fighter pyromancer, a fighter cryomancer, a fighter necromancer, or a fighter magician. And magician is just the standard, you know, um, non-specialized mage. And as I'm always telling people, and I've probably said this to you even, Coochie, a lot of times in Hyperborea, the basic class is the best class, the best one. And that's something I always try to mention. It's like, yeah, if you want to play a subclass, absolutely play the subclass you want to play, right? But just bear in mind that of all of the, say, subclasses of cleric, the basic cleric is way better. You know, like by a large margin. It's not even like a super close thing. It's like, oh my god, look at what the basic cleric can do. It can do like basically all this good stuff, right? So yeah. But I will be touring Appalachia in a couple of weeks. And by touring, I just mean I'm going up to visit my mom. My wife is taking her some paid time off that she has because she has to. The way her company works, it's like, on the one hand, because she's been there like 20 years, she earns a lot of paid time off. But on the other hand, the company's made it where if you have more than so much paid time off, you lose it. So um, basically, they force her to take time off that maybe she would. And then this year, we were thinking for Mother's Day, what could be better than, going and see my mom? Even though it's her day too, And I was like, well, I mean, it's your day too. But she was like, she wants to see my mom too because they're like super close. I always joke my mom loves me more but likes her more. So, Leth,
Yeah,
are you okay?
yeah, I'm okay.
Okay.
I didn't want to interrupt you on that.
Oh, dude, please. Something jumps to mind. Otherwise, I'll just ramble. Yeah, poor Leth over here is going to get to play Hyperborea eventually.
Possibly. I mean, if I stick with Bloodsworth a bit. Although right
Oh,
now it's Castles and Crusades is going to be the next one I'll be in.
yeah, I'm like, you'll stick with him, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, DM Bloodworth is just an awesome guy. His whole problem is that he's had a hard time.
Keeping people to play. Yeah.
Yeah,
Especially that Thursday
it's
game.
like, why do you join a game when you know you may not be able to show up, right?
I don't know.
And here's the thing: if you're a player and you join the game, and then you decide you don't like the game, maybe talk to the DM about what you don't like instead of just making up bullshit excuses not to show up.
Or just ghosting completely. That went not great.
Or just ghosting, yeah, completely. You know, uh, I have not ran an online game in forever. I think one time I kind of ran sort of kind of a game for Leth here,
Yep.
uh, just to show how things could be, and
Baptism of
then I
Fire.
did run a game for Hungar once.
Yeah, that Baptism of Fire game was pretty fun.
Yeah, right. I think your character was like some kind of warrior or whatever, and
Yeah.
you had to go to a village to find out why they weren't paying tithes or something, and
Yep.
the village had been all wrecked and burnt to shit by bandits and stuff. Because when you live in the Redlands, which is the part of the province of Poland that borders uh, the Kiev and Rus area, I mean, there's a lot of bandits and crazy shit going on there. Not to mention monsters, a lot of monsters. You know, uh, Baptism of Fire loves vampires, and there's like 20 types of them. So now this I'm excited for because this miniature is really weird. It can only be used in BattleTech during the Succession Wars or during the Ilkhan era. And I know that the white makes it where you can't really see much of the details on it, but it's a Griffin 2N. Now, the standard Griffin you always see is a Griffin 3N. This is the 2N. So it was apparently an older model that ended up getting replaced by the newer model. And they're very rare during the Succession Wars. And then they vanish. But then somebody finds uh, a core which allows them to learn to rebuild them. Now, I hate the Ilkhan era, so if I do play this Griffin, it will obviously be during the Succession Wars. As a matter of fact, I keep like, if anyone from Catalyst Games ever sees my channel, I hope to all that is holy, they will stop with the Ilkhan shit. Nobody wants it, and just concentrate on the 3025 to 3055 era. Um, where I'm from, we don't worry about skinwalkers or Wendigo. We worry about the Harrymen, inbred cannibals,
Goblins.
Kentucky goblins, moon-eyed people, which may or may not actually be Kentucky goblins, and then of course, I guess skin dancers. I don't know the voices that call your name when you're alone in the woods. I don't know what they are, but I do know the rule is you never answer and you definitely don't go to where they are because that's just a good way to vanish and never be found again. So, are they skin dancers or doppelgangers or evil spirits trying to lure you off the path to eat you? You know,
Fairies.
fae of some sort. I mean, we've got the black dog where I live. And they always tell you when you're walking around at night, if a black dog starts following you, you ignore it and keep walking, because if you interact with it, it'll kill you, you know, and stuff like that. Now, I'm not going to say any of it's necessarily 100% true, but those legends have been around a long time. I mean, even before Europeans settled there, the legends of some of those beasts come from the Cherokee from North Carolina and all that, you know, shit. So, I mean, Wendigo is such a thing because it was originally talked about in like the Northwest, and now it's everywhere. How you
Hey,
doing,
Vic.
Vic?
I am here. Don't know for how long, but I'm here.
Well, okay. I don't know how long I'm here either. I
Nice to
mean, to
see
be
you.
honest, does anybody really know how long they'll be here?
Oh God, don't start that shit.
But yeah, so we got a lot of different kinds of monsters, more than I can even think of right now. But you know, the main ones in the mountains of Kentucky that they tell you to look out for are animals that aren't actually animals, and you can spot them. So it's like if you're walking down a trail and you see a deer and you look close and you notice that it has more antlers than it should. Um, or if your dog is scratching at the door, but then you realize the dog's already in the house, that sort of thing. And then the other thing is always draw your curtains at night, because witches are like something that people up there terribly fear. And apparently, if the witch can see you while you're asleep, it can curse you and you may die. So you prevent that by um,
Closing your blinds.
closing the blinds so it can't see you. And then I think another thing is what the Cherokee called the hairy man. Is the way they describe it, sounds an awful lot like Bigfoot, except the hairy man is 100% like aggro. Whereas people talk about how Bigfoot's like this gentle creature, you know, living in the forest and doing its thing. Hairy Man, you know, there are people who claim Hairy Man tried to, you know, rip their trailers open and pull them out. I mean, and the old Cherokee are like, yeah, you do not mess with the Hairy Man. Now, rationally, that's probably bullshit, or perhaps maybe it's some ancient human that survived, or maybe it's some inbred freaking holler crawlers.
What if it was just some unknown ape that we just haven't seen yet?
That's a theory, you know. It could just be, and people, you know, a lot of people are like, "There's no way a big ape like that could exist," you know, and it's like, I think there is, because there are whole parts of the Daniel Boone National Forest that like no one goes. So if this big ape is smart enough to know to try to lay low, right? You probably would never see it.
Heck, there's tribes of humans that we, still don't have contact with the civilized world.
Right. Yeah, like those dudes on Sentinel Island that they just made it against the law to even go there. Because, you know, and the rule is if you get killed by the natives on Sentinel Island, it's your fault. Oi, Stephen. We were talking about Hyperborea a minute ago.
And then it went to folklore and legends.
Well, because Coochie brought that up, and
Yeah.
you know what? Coochie knows that if you start bringing that shit up, that's like the best way to derail whatever in the hell I'm talking about, because
Yeah.
I immediately had my mind goes right back to the mountains, and then it's like, you know, like,
Hey,
why
look,
don't I walk along my 30 acres unarmed?
you never do that. That's crazy.
That's crazy. I'm always armed, you
Yeah.
know. And honestly, the thing that would scare me the most is running into people I don't know.
Which
Because
reminds
I
me,
would be like, go
I
ahead.
need to get some 5.7 and more ammo.
Right. Because if I were walking through my forest and there was just some people there, I'd be like, why are they here? Where'd they come from? You know, like who are these assholes?
I especially want 5.7 so I can carry around like 2 or 3 bags of like 50 round magazines.
Yeah, Kentucky's nice. I
My old Kentucky home.
Yeah, if I'm hunting, I'm carrying the Remington because I've
Oh yeah.
upgraded from my old Mauser.
I'll
Uh,
probably just use a Mauser. I got a Mauser.
oh, the
Figure I'll
Mauser's
just use that.
great, man. If you're steady with that thing, you can crank a deer at 500 yards all day long.
Yep.
But I've got a Remington 700 and 30-6 with really good optics.
Yeah, that's nice.
So you do what you do, right? It's the
250.
tactical with the bull barrel.
Yeah.
But
I need to get myself a
if I'm just patrolling
bolt action
my
with the
property though, I now in the future I might take my AR and 300 blackout, which is actually behind me, leaned up against the wall, but you can't see it. But in the past, I always carried my AK-74. I've got a Bulgarian AK-74 I like to carry.
I'll take the P90 volume by fire.
Well, I mean, if it's a close range engagement, it's going to be great. That the only problem with that weapon is, like we've talked about before,
Yeah, I wouldn't have as much range as my AR, obviously.
it doesn't have the range, and you don't get to own the good bullets.
No.
You
True.
get the shitty bullets that they sell to civilians. But the real bullets that like the Secret Service and all that carries, the AP ones,
Yep.
yeah, that's the shit right there. But
I guess I'm outgunned by you guys because I just carry my Iron Sight 30-30 and
that's not outgunned. 30-30s are awesome, man.
Yeah,
Is
those
it
are
lever
fine.
action?
Yep. That's what I got. I got a
I need to
1940.
I need to get another lever action.
That's all I got. That, a shotgun, a pistol,
That's fine.
and air rifle. That's it.
See, Vic, when you said 30-30 shotgun and pistol, my
Mhm.
opinion would be you're done. You don't
I
need
mean,
anything else.
yeah, technically you don't need anything else other than that. That's fine.
Yeah, the 30-30, a nice 12 gauge. I like pump, but some people like, autoloaders. And then a pistol
Pump's more
in at
reliable.
least 9mm. You're done. You've got every firearm you're probably ever going to need.
Yeah. Well,
G19X. If you're saying Glock 19, I've got Glock Gen 5. Glock 19 Gen 5. I like it.
I'm a Walther fanboy. I'll use a Walther.
11.5 AR and a Benelli M2. Okay, Benelli, that's freaking. Now you're just bragging, man.
Yeah, bragging right there.
Yeah, those Italian shotguns like the Spas and shit like that. They're super nice, but super expensive. Whereas what I have is a pump action Remington 870.
That's what I got, James.
I paid $300 for mine. Brand new.
To be fair, I don't want a Spas. The Spas is too heavy.
And
so I prefer the
870, which was a favorite for police officers for like 100 years.
Yeah.
And was carried in Vietnam, and one of the most reliable shotguns ever. And another thing I love about it is if you're quick, which everybody can be, every time you fire a round, you can load a round. It's like, say you fire a round, if you've got the ammo right there, you can literally pop a round out and shove it into the tube. So, if you've got time, or because of the way the 870 is made, you can hold the trigger down, and every time you pump it, it fires. So I have an 870 tactical again. and so it's all black plastic and everything like
Yeah,
that. And
mine is
it has
too.
the extended tube, so mine carries
I
like
don't know if mine
9
has.
2 3/4 inch rounds.
Mine might have the extended tube. I can't remember, but mine's all black. It even came with like a sling, so you could sling it on your back.
Right. And I recently added the what is the name of it? It's the sights that glow in the dark. They're like
Oh,
iron sights, but
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
tritium
Tritium.
sights.
Yeah.
And then on the stock, I've got the thing that holds like 5 extra rounds. I love shotguns. It's one of my favorite firearms of all time.
I got 2 shotguns.
Yeah. And a lot of times, if you guys get me talking about like shit hits the fan situation and I could only take one of my firearms, that is such a hard decision for me because I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
the shotgun is so useful. You know,
I
it
mean,
doesn't have the range, maybe, but if you've
well,
got a pretty
depends.
good supply of ammo, like different types,
Yeah,
you can
it can do a
handle
lot
about
of things.
anything.
But saying that it doesn't have the range is technically not true if you could get the Sabo round.
Yeah, but that's still only good for 100, 150 rounds or
True.
yards.
True.
You know, when you're talking about my AK is good to like 400 yards.
Yeah, the AR is like 500.
Right. Even though when you're in the army, you only have to be accurate up to 350.
Yeah, which
That's the
makes sense.
far
I mean,
target on the range. But you're not using a freaking good ACOG or anything either. That's iron
no.
sights 350.
Yeah.
I don't
Whereas
know.
if
I
you,
can't see out. I only use iron sights anyway, so I don't really care.
Yeah.
well, my
Fair. Although technically my AR didn't come with iron sights, I'd have to get some. I'm gonna have to eventually.
my AR, the 300 Blackout has a very nice optic on it. That's like basically it's like a poor man's ACOG. But if I take the upper off of it and I put the 5.56 upper on it, there's no optic on that one because I haven't bought one yet. But the way it's designed, I can pop the connectors out and take the whole upper off and just put the new upper on. And 300 Blackout and 5.56, they basically the rifle take the same magazine. So, you know, the only difference is the 300 Blackout is basically a 7.62, but it's a 7.62 by 4.1 instead of, you know, like a good like 7.62 by 5.1. You know? So, yeah. So, yeah, my AR is actually both 5.56 223 or 300 Blackout, and right now it's full of 300 Subsonic.
I keep mine with the 5.56. I don't mind. 5.56 is cheap.
Well, the thing
Cheaper, I
was
guess.
when I got the 300 Blackout, I had no idea that the guy I was buying it for was going to just throw in the 5.56. Okay, Vic, try that again. Or no, I found it. Okay, here we go. What do we got here? Bladensburg Races.
Yeah, it's a brand new game that's coming to DaveCon this year by one of the original Blackmore guys by name of Ken Shepro.
Yeah, I recognize kind of that name, but again, because I own that CD set that talks all about, you know, the secrets of Blackmore or whatever.
Yeah.
Griff, whatever made it.
Griff Morgan.
Yeah. Who I used to actually talk to quite a bit when I bothered with X, Twitter, whatever, you know. Like he and I
I
were
ain't got
pretty
time
cool.
like Griff does, and the rest of these guys. They can sit there online all day and BS. Man, I wish I was independently wealthy. I could do that.
I wish you were too. Yeah, Griff. This would be years and years ago. He was putting out like a World War II Navy game, and
Which one?
I don't know. Griff was putting it out. It was going to be World War II. He actually showed me some of the miniatures that he was having made for it.
Was it the
And
close action one?
I don't know. I'm telling you, I don't know. I just remember he showed me miniatures. And I was like, well, those are cool. But I don't know what become of that because, like I said, I stopped going on Twitter so much.
Mm-hmm.
So, like on Twitter, Saxius and I used to be like every day, you know, we were bros. And then when Saxius finally was on, I think uh, the British guy, what's his name? The old geek, right? And I happened to be on too. And I was like, Saxius, I'm, you know, this guy. And he's like, oh shit. I was like, yeah, yeah. Because it turns out Saxius and I had been talking for like over a decade, but he never knew
Anyways,
who I was, like in real life, because, um, you know, on Twitter, I always had different handles. Like, I think my current handle is like Constantine at Nick Cage Superfan
yeah.
or something like that. And some people want to make fun of me, but I don't care. Nicolas Cage is awesome. Those people can
Oh,
pound sand,
I don't give a fuck.
right? Quote Elon Musk, go fuck yourself.
Nah, I thought of when Nick Cage said that in Face Off.
Right?
It's hilarious.
That's like the worst movie, but you still watch it,
Yeah, it's the best worst movie.
Yeah, because it's like,
It's
let's
just
be honest here. There is no way, if you just remove the face, that you would think John Travolta could be Nick Cage.
no. But let's just face it, it's just the funniest thing ever, especially since it's just basically two hammy actors trying to overact each other.
Oh, God. I'm going to take his face. Oh,
Off.
it's like, oh, my God. All right.
It's so funny seeing like John Travolta trying to act like Nick Cage and Nick Cage trying to act like John Travolta.
Right. Oh, man.
see, James, if you would have came up here, you would have been able to play with a bunch of the Blackmore guys because they're all going to play this on Saturday.
Oh, my God. I know. I do. I know.
So,
I was talking about that with Shadow actually earlier.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're missing out.
I know that I am. That doesn't make it easier.
Oh, God, now I got to figure out how to get this posted up. Blah, 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 blah.
I have decided, for no good reason at all,
Yeah.
that this wizard should be wearing purple striped orange.
Yeah, you did. Interesting color scheme.
Well, I mean, I'm going to go ahead and say I was inspired by Errol Otis. Because anytime you see Errol Otis and he's painting a wizard, the wizards are always wearing like weird freaking hats and striped clothes, and I mean, they're just really weird looking.
I
And
thought
that's
it was
something that I actually really like about Errol Otis's art is the fact that that dude leans into like the weird looking shit.
fair enough.
So, you know, and he is probably my favorite old school D&D artist.
I tried to get him to come to Dave Con, and he just won't do it. He hates flying with a passion.
Well, the other guy that did so much of the Dragonlance art and everything, I'm trying to think of his name now. He actually did so much art for Dragon Magazine too. And he did all of the art for the Metzer set.
Who are you thinking of?
I'm trying to remember his name. He lives in Kentucky, though, not far from Lethbridge.
Oh, oh God. Starts with an E.
Yeah. He did a lot of the art.
Larry Elmore.
Yep. And he is a Kentuckian, and he lives not far from E, you know, Elizabethtown, E-Town, as they call it.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, I think he lives north, though, more towards Louisville.
Oof.
Well, I mean, he's probably got enough money that it's not like he's in the ghetto.
Yeah, fair enough.
You
My
know?
brother was in the ghetto of Lexington.
I can't imagine.
Bad idea.
And I've been to Lexington numerous times, and I'm like, the ghetto?
Yep.
Where is that?
Oh, you'd find out. It's not a very fun place to be around.
Yeah, well, maybe I don't know because I was always going up to UK,
Yeah.
and that's in a pretty nice area.
Yeah, the
university.
UK, the university is actually in a nicer area, but there's a ghetto in Lexington. I know that.
Well, I believe you. And the other reason I ever went to Lexington was because I wanted to go to Cincinnati.
I had to go to Louisville once. My papa had to be shipped up there for a heart attack.
You had a heart attack, bro?
He had a heart attack.
Oh, okay.
My papa got shipped up there. I said, not me.
And so, okay, and then you went up to just
to visit him.
support and hang out. Yeah, gotcha. Sorry. Well, that is one thing about Louisville. It's like every hospital that ever existed is represented there.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all there is there is hospitals and ghettos.
After that, he had to give up the cigars.
Really?
Yeah. Or at least he did. I don't know if he had to, but he gave up the cigars.
Yeah, pretty much every real Kentuckian despises Louisville.
Oh, yeah.
It's just the way it is. You know, if you don't live in Louisville, but you live in Kentucky, you probably hate Louisville.
Even if you live in Louisville, you'll probably still hate Kentucky, Louisville.
Yeah, even if you live there, you probably still hate it.
My dad used to live there. He hated it.
And wish you could live anywhere else. That place is just the worst. I mean, Leth and I got together and decided that if either one of us ever gets in charge of anything, we're going to like make Louisville be part of Ohio.
Yeah.
Just to get away from it. Just be like, no, you're Ohio's problem now. Because we don't want you. But Lexington's not too bad.
No, like
there's probably bad parts, like you said, but overall,
there is. But overall, it's not as bad.
Yeah. See, Cincinnati, if you cross the bridge into Cincinnati, that's where Iron Wind Miniatures are. And as expensive as all their shit is online, it's like half price if you actually go there. And not only that, if you keep any of the metal sprues that the miniatures come with, they will weigh the metal you bring in and then cut you a discount based on the weight of the metal you brought in.
Where was that those protesters tried to cross the bridge from and
Oh
then
yeah,
got
that
beat?
didn't work out for them though, did it?
No.
Those idiots in Ohio tried to cross the bridge, and as soon as they crossed the border in Kentucky, they got their asses whipped,
Yes.
locked up, fucking, because Ohio's like, yeah, sure, go out there and block that bridge. And as soon as they got to Kentucky, the Kentucky Stadies were like, no, we're not
No.
doing this. Just started whipping their asses. That's how it is down here, man. If you step out in the street to protest and someone runs you over, guess what? It's your fault.
You shouldn't have been in the road.
Shouldn't
Roads
have been
are
in the
for
road, man.
cars.
You try to protest, block like I-95, don't be surprised when a tractor trailer smashes you into paste. And it will be your fault.
Roads are for cars.
Well, it's not like Minneapolis. I can guarantee you that. These guys up here, we'll just walk on the freeway.
Yeah,
In Minnesota, if you're crossing a street or any road, you have the right of way instead of a car. That's how badly the state is fucked up.
See, in Florida, if you are crossing a road and you are in a crossing area, you absolutely have right of way. And if somebody hits you, they are effed big time, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But if you're just in the middle of the road wandering about and somebody just takes you out, that's your fault. So it's very orderly. If you want to cross the road, you go to the light and you hit the button and you wait till the hand says go and you go. But if you just trying to jaywalk across, I-4, yeah, go cry to your mama when somebody, well, you won't be able to, but your mama can cry.
Yeah.
Because your ass will be dead. Especially on I-4. Nobody's stopping. You know what I mean? If you're trying to cross I-4 up near downtown Orlando, no one is stopping. You will get taken out. Nerdy Ogre, our bro from the great state of Texas. Long time no see, homie.
Hey, Nerdy Ogre.
Well, actually, not a long time no see since I watched Nerdy Ogre on Bruce's channel. Not that long ago. I think he was on one of the games I watched. I thought it was Bruce's. I could be wrong, but I seem to think it was. I think it was like Janet, another lady. I don't know who it is. Like her boyfriend. I think Nerdy Ogre might have been there. So I could be wrong though. So I'm giving this wizard a nice long black beard. There we go. I mean, I may actually do his eyes at some point if I'm feeling really,
I just leave him white so that, he's a blind wizard.
If I'm feeling really like motivated. But this is the Reaper miniature that was actually named Hyborian Wizard.
You should have made his beard red.
Well, I mean, what that means is basically it was made for the Conan setting.
Yeah.
Hyboria. And I picked up the Hyborian female barbarian and the Hyborian male barbarian. Because it said Hyborian, and I was like, well, yeah, getting that, I mean, if you want to sell me a miniature, just slap Hyborian on the front of the title of it, and I'm like, okay, let's do that, right?
Well, James, other thing, I found my old dice.
I didn't know they were lost.
Yeah, I had them in the box, and I couldn't find them for a little bit, but I finally found them.
See, this guy is what they sold as Hyborian male barbarian. Let's see if it'll focus in at all. So he's basically wearing cloth and a lot of hides, and he's got a big freaking axe. And I don't know if I should paint him up to be a Hyperborean or not. He's tall enough. He's definitely tall enough, but he's a little bit too muscular. You know, Hyperboreans tend to be a bit on the thinner side most of the time. But so, Nerdy Ogre, what have you been doing besides, if I remember correctly, gaming with Bruce? And I'm always like, don't let me down, Bruce. I don't think that's what they were actually saying, but that's what I heard, you know. Don't let me down. Oh, no, no. Oh my God. See, I know for a fact that Tim has no idea what I'm talking about.
I know that song.
Do you?
Yeah. I
Who
can't
was
remember.
that? That was like ELO, right?
Mm.
Electric Light Orchestra or something.
Yep. I think it was ELO.
I don't remember the name of the band, but I know the song that you're talking about.
Don't bring me down. No, 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 no. Ooh.
I heard it a lot on the radio in the 90s.
Well, because it was a really good song from the 70s, I think.
Yeah.
So if you were listening to like the classic rock station, yeah, you're going to hear that.
Yep.
For sure.
Yeah. Probably a lot on the 100.7.
Yeah, see, where I was in Kentucky, we had like 3 radio stations, and 2 of them were gospel, and 1 of them was country.
We had like a few gospel, few country, a couple of rock ones.
Well, I mean,
And
now
a
I
lot of
bet there's
pop
shit
ones, I guess.
tons of radio stations up there.
Yeah.
But I'm talking, you know, the 70s, when I was up
Yeah.
there in the late 70s, early
Fair.
80s. Is like, I mean, I didn't care. I thought it was awesome because I didn't listen to the radio. I ran around the hills doing stupid shit nonstop. So
My favorite station was 100.7. They usually had the best songs.
Yep, Nerdy. I generally try to set in and watch Bruce's show until my actual game starts, because I also run a game on Saturdays. It turns out, because, and you've probably already heard this, we moved our Sunday game to Saturday so that the guys who work construction that game with could actually have a day to rest before they had to go out into, you know, the hell that is Florida during the summer, and, you know, dig and do whatever the hell they all do. I mean, I know one of them for sure is like a backhoe operator or something like that. So yeah, you know, and that pretty much determines when we end play too. Is if around 11:30 or so I see the construction workers starting to zone out, I know it's time to, you know, go ahead and find a spot to call
it.
Yeah.
Call it a day.
Which ain't too bad since we do start around 7. So,
Yeah, that's not bad time.
So we get a good 4 to 5 hours in. Like last game, we went to midnight because the players were so stoked about what was going on that by the time we looked up, it was like, oh damn, it's 11:50 something. At which point, my brother's like, yeah, I need to go to bed. Like, why? You don't got anywhere to be tomorrow.
Yeah, my Thursday game keeps getting canceled.
Dead Rain. Yeah, that's the one you told me about. Yeah.
It's sad because we didn't get to play yesterday, and I was looking forward to the Deadlands game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think when I talked to Bubba, he or not Bubba, Bloodworth, he'd said he was using the Savage World game.
Yeah, he is.
I mean, I guess I would have, if I don't know. No, I probably wouldn't have played that.
Fair. I mean, I just wanted to. I just wanted to play Deadlands game. The lore and stuff is so cool to me.
Right. I'm no matter how many times I've tried to like Savage Worlds, I can't force myself to do it. You know, and I've got a lot of friends who are constantly going off about, oh, Savage World, so easy, blah, blah, blah. And I bought most of the Rift Savage World stuff. And I read it and I'm like, I should have just bought the Rifts book if I were actually wanting to play Rifts. You know what I mean?
Fair.
And I have all the old Orange Deadlands books. So if I were going to play Deadlands, obviously I'd bust out, the Pinnacle First Edition Deadlands.
Yeah.
And I already know what the characters would be like. So that's a thing. At least one of them would be playing a Texas Ranger. I know that for a fact. And then
about that. Funny thing about that, James. Since we keep having a couple of people missing, it might go down to either a 2 or 3 man group. And the 2 people that is definitely going to be in is a gunslinger and a Native American shaman.
Well, then the gunslinger needs to start wearing a white outfit and a mask.
You figured it out too. It's the Lone Ranger. It's Quanto.
Yeah, Lone Ranger and freaking Tonto. Which apparently Tonto. In whatever language the dude spoke, Tonto means, or no, Kemosabe means a damp bush. That's the Hollywood legend that, he was basically calling him a wet bush the whole time. It's like an inside joke. It's kind of like when Spock does the live long and prosper symbol. That's actually a ancient Hebrew symbol that they used to recognize people who are part of like a rebellion against Rome or something. Like a password or something, you'd walk up and be like, whatever you'd say, and you'd, shoot the secret signal. And Nimoy, having been, he was pretty much a Russian Jew, he somehow knew that symbol. Whereas Kirk was definitely an Ashkenazi, so he was a Jewish person from like Western Europe. And Nimoy was a Jewish person from Eastern Europe.
If anything, I'm looking forward to my game tomorrow.
Right. I look forward to my game tomorrow. See what these maniacs I game with are going to get into. No telling, really. So, well, Nerdy, I will start trying to make it a point to check out your Dead Rain game. That's on Thursdays. I mean, the only days that I'm really whatever are Saturday evening, and then a lot of times I watch Razor Fist, and then the other one that I watch a lot is Double D, and then I've been joining Shadow on his channel in the mornings. The morning second breakfast reprobate thing.
He just keeps you. He just stole my moniker.
He did. So I was on there today, and we, it's a lot of fun. It's mostly Shadow and whoever else is on talking about whatever game we're playing. So, good stuff, right? And usually it's an hour, but sometimes it goes to 2 depending. And today we had Bob from Bo from Bo Paints Miniatures.
Oh, I got news for you. You guys will be the first to hear it. If you want to hear it.
Yeah. The game you're running is Dead Rain. Yeah, I'm sorry if I said Deadlands. I apologize.
You didn't, but we did get off track and talked about Deadlands a lot, which could have been a little bit confusing.
Yeah, I meant Dead Rain. I think is that the game where you made me a character that was like a firefighter, except my body was like a skeleton covered in fire. Yeah, it was like a flaming skeleton, but I still had like my turnout gear on. If that's not the game, well, then okay. But the one where you made the flaming skeleton was pretty freaking cool.
You know? That sounds like something you'd see on Venture Brothers.
Well, I mean, you know, it's like I forget how it went, but it's pretty much like something happened and certain people get turned into like creatures. And I got turned into that kind of creature. You know, some kind of vengeful spirit type skeleton, but still hanging on to my past life. And if you're going to run Deadlands, you would run Rifts. And you know what? Yeah, I could see that. But then again, as we all know, and if you don't know, then where the hell have you been? Nerdy Ogre is a Rifts guy. He is a Palladium guy. Whereas if I were going to run or play a Palladium game, Nerdy Ogre, you probably already know which one it would be. Because it's the only one I ever played, and I played it for a long time before, you know, not playing it. And I have all the books for it. Well, the 2 books for it. And I would definitely be a player or run a game like that if someone around my house wanted to run it. But that's never going to happen. So, you know.
All right. I got news for you.
What's the news?
Nerd Incognito has already confirmed for next year's DaveCon. I don't know if you guys know those guys on YouTube.
Nerd Cognito, are you talking about the red-haired dude that used to own a comic shop?
I don't. I'll show you.
No, that's Nerdrotic.
No. Nerd Incognito. Let's see here. Where's the picture?
Okay.
I will.
Oh, I think that's Ryan something in real life. If it's who I'm thinking about, he's on Double D every now and then.
Yeah, same guy. He's coming. I already figured that out.
Right.
I got another guy that's coming too. I got to figure out his name too. It's crazy. Everybody's starting to call me at the last minute. Hey, can I come? And I'm just like, oh, you know what I'm saying?
You get to ask like a month or 2 ago.
And fly here, and of course you can show up.
Well, that's what I tell everybody. Yeah,
get a ticket. Yeah, who knows? Maybe one day I'll be.
Maybe one day I can even get James to get off his ass and come.
Well, I wish it were that simple, homie.
You know what? I think it's going to have to take me coming down there talking to your wife and having her force you out the door.
Well, what is more likely to happen is me convincing my wife one of these years to go with me.
You know what? She would love it this year because guess what we're going to do? There's going to be an all-female team with Donna Gygax, my girlfriend, and some other women, and they're going to be the all-female AD&D team. She would be like right at home with those ladies, and they're going to rip it up. I know they will. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. See, that is something that she might enjoy. And if her and I decide to ever go up there one of these years, I mean, that would be the thing. However, that was Nightbane. Yeah, I liked that a lot. But The I am going to Kentucky though soon. My wife is driving, and we're going to visit my property and then my mom as well, and we'll be up there for probably a week. So I probably won't live stream for that week, but I'll still make videos. Uh, you know. So I just made this guy and painted him up a little bit. I need to do his base, obviously, but I kind of dig it. It's, as you can see, it's some random dude wearing a loincloth, and he's hooked up to, I don't know if that's
St. Andrew's Cross.
Yeah. So yeah. I've got a lot of like people who are being like sacrificed or whatever, like on altars and giant, things.
You don't
like
have to
that.
tell me. I've done a lot of that myself inside the game.
Yeah, it's
I think I'm gonna have to go. I'll see you.
See you, homie.
Jim's sad now.
Nah.
A lot of it has to do with just the last adventure. Well, they're still on it. Had to do with a cult of cannibals devoted to Yag or Yag. And so they had to run through the desert to try and save somebody that was destined to be sacrificed. And yeah. So just like that, And so I kind of needed the prop, which I have. So when they ran up on the site, I put down like the big flat stone and the altar and the person on it, and a couple of people I've got kneeling, chained up near it, and so they went off and pretty much started just killing everything in the area, which understandable, and yeah. They saved the people. Got this guy too. I painted up. It's a type of raptor because in parts of Hyboria, the world of Hyperborea, there are a lot of dinosaurs, but they call them dragons because there are no dragons. As you think of dragons in D&D, there's no winged like. Well, there are winged dragons, but we would call them pterodactyls. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a lot more like the whole R.E. Howard thing where...
Holy crap.
What?
Just looking at this, there's only one person left to join the David Wesley game at Blackmore game. Wow.
I've never understood, other than the setting, is there an actual difference between Blackmore and like TSR D&D? Because when I watched the Blackmore video, it seemed like there actually was.
Yeah, there is.
They were rolling 3-6 or 4-6 versus attributes.
All right, there is no dice rolling in Braunstein.
No. Not Braunstein. I'm talking the Blackmore game.
Oh, Blackmore. That's sold out too. Blackmore is...
Because I seem to remember the party of dwarves went to the dungeon and they were on dice 6s versus
Blackmore is more off the cuff than Dungeons and Dragons itself. It's more off the cuff. There's scenario that's pretty much static, I call it, and it's how do I want to say this? Yeah, like I said, usually it's they're trying to take over the keep at Blackmore. Is usually what it is. They're trying to, and there's different factions moving around and stuff like that. And the only person ever to burned down Blackmore Castle was Ernie Gygax. Only person ever was Ernie.
So, all right. Oh, accidentally deleted it. Oh, that's too bad. It was cool. And yeah, I didn't tell you, Nerdy Ogre, but that Palladium game, which isn't actually Palladium, is Recon. Played the shit out of Recon and Advanced Recon. Love that game.
Wow. There's a oh no, that's I gotta delete that one. Guy had it. I thought there was a Shadow Dart game that didn't get any players in it. I'm just looking at we are pretty goddamn full on games here.
Yeah, I mean, I know. I looked at the freaking webpage.
72 games are being played.
Yeah, the turnout is actually pretty amazing.
So,
I mean, you know, I think your con's definitely probably bigger than like ClareCon or you know, Central New York Con or any of that.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It's proximity to the its proximity to an airport is a big thing too. Right. I mean, that's why a lot of people like coming to DaveCon. It's the proximity. We are literally a mile and a half from the terminal. Yeah. There's free transportation. Now you go to Gary Con, you got a 40+ mile ride in a car from O'Hare, or you got a 40-mile ride from Milwaukee to get to it, you know, which is an hour. I mean, who wants an Uber an hour? You know what I'm saying? And you got hotel prices that are through the roof. I mean, they're $200 a night plus. Right. I'm at 119, and you know what I mean?
Oh, I do, because I actually researched and had picked out the room, and
yeah,
I had looked at the map and was like, wow, you get off the airport and they have shuttles to the hotel.
Right. So there's no extra cost there. There's food right there at the thing, which is reasonable. I looked at the menu the other day, and then I was looking at you want to go to the Mall of America, it's, you know, a mile and a half, you know. if you want that, or you know what I'm saying. I'm just sort of, that's why I'm just surprised it's not more popular than GaryCon, but GaryCon is GaryCon. You know what I'm saying?
It's got a name.
Yeah, well, you know, when you get mentioned on like one of the most popular, what do you call it? The most popular television show in the 2000s, you know, being Big Bang Theory. You know what I'm saying? So,
see, Big Bang Theory always aggravated me because I always felt like they were laughing at me, not with me.
No, it didn't bother me.
So I was like, you know,
it didn't bother me. I was laughing with them because there's some of the stuff they'd say on there going, oh God, that's too close to home. You know what I'm saying?
And also, it's completely unbelievable in my mind that Bernadette would ever have hooked up with fucking whatever that goofball's name is. Like, I'm 100% sure if Bernadette had brought that Weasley bastard to meet her dad, who was like this big burly Midwestern dude, that dude would have killed him. You know? I mean, we're talking about the dude who played Moist in Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog.
Yeah.
He's like a 5'3" goofy bastard.
Mm-hmm.
And his superpower in Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog is he made people moist. So, So yeah, his whole deal was he could make somebody slightly uncomfortable. That was his power, but I can't even remember his name in Big Bang Theory now.
Who? You mean Wolowitz?
Wolowitz, yeah, that's his name. Yeah. I had a hard time believing Wolowitz could ever get with Bernadette, and I also refused to believe that the one nerd could ever get with Penny. Even though they did date in real life until, Penny made her own money and then she dumped his ass and married a soccer star.
Yeah.
So I think it's possible Penny might have been using Galilecki or whatever the hell his name was.
Yeah.
A little bit, as you do. But
well,
yeah.
he lives in Nashville now. He doesn't even want to do acting. He's in
Good
Nashville.
for him.
He's got a wife and 2 kids, I guess, and
you know who else moved to the freaking middle of nowhere, Tennessee, is Justin Timberlake or whatever.
With where does he live? I thought last I heard he was in New York or somewhere. He got a ticket or something for DUI.
Well, he might have been up there doing something, but his wife, him, and their kids, they totally live in Tennessee, and he put out like a country album a while back.
No.
And then people were hating on him because they're like, I can't believe you did that. And he's like, this is where I was born. You know what I mean? But everybody's so used to NSYNC, right?
Yeah.
And his later Cry Me a River, Bringing Sexy Back stuff. So when he started putting out, songs with country artists and shit, yeah, he did get a DUI in LA. You've met couples like that. The only reason a couple like that could exist is the man is fucking loaded and the woman is not. But in Big Bang Theory, Penny, no, they're all basically broke. The only one of them doing good is actually Bernadette. Like she's the only one of them that's making like the hard cash because she works for a pharmaceutical company working on diseases and biotech shit or whatever. So she's making a ton of money. Wolowitz ain't making shit, which is why he lives at home with his mom. Well, one of the reasons.
Well, he also what was it? Yeah, he's living with his mom, but he was, his wife was making all the bucks and he had to sign a prenup for to get married. So
yeah, because Bernadette was killing it. And the other thing is Bernadette literally could have dated any dude she wanted. And Penny 100% would have stayed with the super attractive goofball. We already know that. There's no way Penny would have got with the dude from Roseanne. She would have stayed with the really kind but big muscular goofball that they were all making fun of because he wasn't.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Right. The one that every time he came around, what's her name?
Dumber than a box of rocks.
Noise. The woman that the crazy autist ended up dating.
Yeah.
But every time that dude came around, she would go, ooh. She couldn't help it because of how attractive he was. Yeah.
Oh, what's her face? The girl, Blossom girl.
Blossom, yeah. Yeah.
She's an actual Dungeons and Dragons player.
Yeah, she was actually funny in the show. I liked her character. I honestly, though, my hope, if I'd been the writer on that show, which I wasn't, the one guy in the glasses with the curly hair was, I would have worked it out to where Sheldon and Penny ended up together. And the reason I say that is because there were so many episodes where Penny tolerated Sheldon's absolute insanity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas no one else did. But Penny, even though she'd yell at him, she always, they always ended up like helping each other out.
Yeah.
And I thought, like, yeah, that would be interesting. Right.
Yeah.
But they went the way they went, and that's fine. And poor Raj, I don't even know if he ever got with anyone or not. Last thing I remember is he had like a little dog, and that was basically his whole life.
Cinnamon or whatever. The dog's name was Cinnamon, I think it was.
Yeah, it was like a little Yorkie or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked Raj's character too, as far as for being funny. And I think one of the funniest characters in the whole thing was the dude that owned the comic shop.
Stuart.
Yeah, Stuart, I think, was really funny. But maybe because I've actually met Stuart like 100 times.
Oh.
Not that actual Stuart, but
you guys like Stuart.
Right. Just Stuarts at different comic shops and conventions. There's always Stuart there, maybe 10 of them.
Yeah.
And so I liked him. I kind of could like, I could totally like, what's it called? I just recognized him, I was like, yeah. Now, one of the guys I gamed with at one point is definitely Sheldon.
Mm-hmm.
I kid you not. And this guy, this particular Sheldon, back in the day, was an editor for AD&D, for a while, especially Greyhawk stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I got the Gord novels or whatever signed by Gary Gygax.
Oh.
They were actually gifts from him because he had went to various conventions and things and ate lunches and stuff like that with Gary Gygax because he was kind of like part of that early thing for a while.
Part of the scene.
Yeah, for a while. But then he got his heart broke by some gold digging bitch, and he refused to play D&D ever again. Serious.
What did the woman do to him that he gave up Dungeons and Dragons?
She basically used him. He paid for like ski trips to freaking Italy and all this kind of shit, scuba diving gear and all this, because she was into all that kind of shit. And then she dumped his ass, and she told him the reason she was dumping him is she just couldn't see herself hanging out with like a D&D nerd.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
And he took it to heart, and he just packed all of his shit up and put it in a garage, and it's still there, and never played again. Even though I've invited him to join us multiple times. And he used to run an AD&D game like way back in the day, and it was a good game. I mean, he did a good job.
When you come down there, you got to introduce me. Maybe I'll go over there and convince him to come play.
Yeah, I don't think he will.
No. Oh.
I don't think he would.
Is he married?
Nope, never.
No. Well, he needs to meet a woman that likes playing AD&D, and then he can be like, all right, see, I didn't know that bitch.
That is what I've said a million times, but you have to remember the one thing I said right up front. He is a Sheldon.
Oh.
And acts like it. So, yeah. Pretty much. It was really, sad because, like I said, I was there. I was there for all of that because he used to run the AD&D game that I played in. So,
yeah,
I got to see all that shit close up and personal blow up. And then after that, I joined my bros Shadowrun game, and I must have played in that game for around 7 years. Not the same character, but the same guy running it in the same game. I think the only thing that changed is we went from Shadowrun First Edition to Second Edition at some point because it's a better game. And now that guy that used to run the Shadowrun game, he died. It was sad.
My mother-in-law just died here last night, so I'm dealing with that fallout too, man. I'm just like, come on, people, quit dying on me. I've had 3 people die on me in the last, fuck.
That's what I'm saying, man. It's like you hit a certain age, and all of a sudden, just everybody starts dying, and it's like, that sucks. Stop. Let me catch my breath between all these dyings. But his deal is he weighed like 600 pounds.
Oof.
Yeah, I know, because by the time it happened, I'd already been retired out. But I had a lot of buddies that were still working at the department. They had to bring in like 3 crews and cut a hole through the wall because they couldn't get him out the door or anything.
Oh, Jesus.
And he was too heavy for our the stretchers we have are battery powered, so they lift themselves.
Yeah.
To save your back, right?
Yeah.
But they have a weight limit of 600 pounds.
Oof.
So they had to call in, like, let's see. I still think Raj and Wallowitz should have ended up together. It seemed, look, Nerdy Ogre, I'm taking your statement serious. And for a long time, it definitely seemed like that was definitely going to happen. Now, I think Stewart actually ended up with some woman at some point.
Yeah, he was dating a woman for a while there.
Yeah. And Raj was dating this doctor, I think, for a while, but she was just basically only using him for, the physical thing and all that. Everyone at your original gaming table is dead. What is dead may never die. Oh, man. And I've already showed you, Stephen, my army of men from the Iron Isle. Because the miniature war game, Song of Ice and Fire, I have Lannisters and I have Ironborn. And one day maybe I'll pick up Stark, just because. But yeah, I like to show off this guy, who is, I would consider, completely done. And those who know who that is.
If you know, you know.
Do you know, Vic, who that is?
I'm not even looking at it. Hold on a second. Let me look. Oh God. Brain fart. The 3 cats give it away, but I just can't give it. It's at the tip of my tongue.
That is Gregor Clegane.
What'd you say?
Gregor Clegane.
Oh.
AKA the mountain that rides.
Mm-hmm.
And now this guy, you can tell he's not done because the base isn't really done. And I want to get his face better and also highlight the gold armor. But if you know anything about A Song of Night and Fire, you know who this is too.
I do not read any of the.
This is Jaime Lannister.
Yeah, I don't read. I didn't even watch the Game of Thrones, to tell you the truth.
Now, honestly, I probably could have painted Jaime Lannister up more as when he was part of the Kingsguard. Yeah, the mountain. And like I've got a lot of lesser known characters here too. So like I showed you guys, which with the camera down here, you can actually see better. because it'll focus in.
Yeah.
This is Victarion Greyjoy.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's Balon Greyjoy's. Was it Balon? His older brother. But he hates. Oh no, that's Aegon Greyjoy's or Euron Greyjoy's older brother, and he hates Euron with a white hot passion.
Oh.
Because he married this woman he loved. Euron slept with her, and then when he found out, he went into a rage and like strangled her to death.
Oh Jesus!
And then he blamed Euron for it, which I guess you could. And then Euron sent him off to sell like to Valyria or some shit. To not Valyria, to the Eastlands. See, this none of this is in the movie, but or the show, but Victarion was sent to try to contact Daenerys because Euron wanted to marry her. So that was kind of what was going on there. This is before Daenerys actually came across the ocean to Westeros. But what Euron didn't know is that that Victarion had planned to marry her himself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, why they left all that shit out, I don't know. Yeah, they're plastic too. They're made by, I think, Simon Games. And dude, like when you buy a box, it basically comes with all the soldiers and the base. So you end up getting this whole thing, which I've of course decorated the bases. It's got that arrow there, so you know what the front is. And then you know, I painted them up with, actually that's Horus Heresy, Horus's color, Sons of Horus. But when I read about them, they typically wear this kind of sea green is kind of their color, and Victorian should be like here. And you see he's got the black banner, right? But it's got the golden squid on top. So Victorian, how they do with these guys, the Ironborn, is when you buy a box, it's like the crew of the Victory. And that's Victorian and his soldiers, because the ship they're on is the Victory, right? And then Euron Greyjoy, his ship is called the Silence, and his crew are called the Silent Men. So I don't have Euron in this unit, but this is the Silent Men, who all have, you know, long robes. They're heavily armored, and you know, their faces are covered with like masks. And the reason they're called the Silent Men is because Euron cuts all their tongues out. So yeah,
always nice to have a silent people.
Right. But yeah, these are Euron's elite guys, the Silent Men. But I also put together some of the lesser houses, like some of the not quite so evil houses affiliated with the Greyjoys. You know? And there are some of them. And of course, most of them end up getting killed by Euron.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, that's just as it's going to be, because Euron is an absolute monster. He is an absolute monster. Like, I forget the name of the guy, but there's a guy that when he was young, Euron used to like SA him quite a bit. And then when he was older and Euron met him again, Euron like made fun of him for it. You know, because the guy had become like religious, and Euron basically mocks him about, remember, oh, you're praying now on your knees. Remember when I used to make you get on your knees when you're a kid and shit like that? That is, in fact, my good sir, a giant alligator turtle you're looking at. Yes.
Yeah, that is a nasty looking Snapping Turtle.
Yep. So this is someone they did totally wrong in the TV show. But that is Theon Greyjoy's sister with the black hair. Asha or Yara. And the blonde woman next to her was basically her either lover or best friend in the book.
Could have been both. You never know.
And then that, of course, is the unit she's leading, which was a unit from one of the smaller Ironborn Islands. Yeah, could have been both. Or could have been neither, you know. But yeah, Asha or Yara, she always had that other person around, the blonde, to like, you know, I don't know why, honestly. It was just part of the whole thing. And then these I actually made out of extra parts I had from my Bretonia miniatures. But in A Song of Ice and Fire, when you set up terrain, these things are one of the things that you can set up, you know. And if you hide behind them, then that makes it really difficult for cavalry to F with you.
Yeah.
Because they got charged through that. So I made a bunch of those. I made the terrain for the game too, basically. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
God dang it. You know,
I got a lot of stuff on this where my Song of Ice and Fire figures are that is actually for other games and stuff.
You know what? So much stuff can intermix. It's not even funny. So,
yeah.
In production.
What's in production?
Oh, I don't know what's going on here. Well, yesterday I got delivered a order for somebody else on the for the convention. You know what the Dave Con art looks like?
Yeah, you showed me, right? With the yeah,
the beholder. Here, I'll post it up again so you can post it. Here, hold on.
Well, you should like send it to me and I'll actually post it on my Discord. This right here, this is what heavy trees look like in the Battletech game.
Yeah.
And how I use them is if I'm playing on a hex, well, it's obvious, right? And I have lots of these. But if I'm playing Alpha Strike, I actually lay down like a bit of dark green, forest green felt, and then just put a bunch of these in it. And that's kind of cool because if you move mechs through there, if you need to move the tree out of the way, you can. But these things were dirt cheap too at like Hobby Lobby. You get a whole box of these for like $4 or something because they're HO scale railroad trees, right?
Yeah.
And it turns out that Battletech pretty much runs on that same scale. Toka is that like the name of I do have the Hound. Absolutely.
Do you see that?
For the Hound, I don't have the plastic miniature that they made. Actually, before they come out with the game, they were already making lead, like high detail, high quality figures out of metal for all the main characters of A Song of Ice and Fire. And I ended up buying those metal ones for a lot of the characters that I really liked. And the Hound was definitely an easy choice because he is one of the characters that I really, really like. As a matter of fact, I think he's the best character.
There you go, James.
From the whole freaking story. He has the best character arc and everything.
There you go. That artwork.
Yeah,
that poster is. We've only got 100 of them coming to be signed at the convention. So that's it. That's all that's ever going to be printed is 100 of those things by the artist. You know, the whole 9 yards. So,
see these guys are called like beachcombers or whatever.
Yeah.
And their basic whole deal is they, you know, run around and comb the beach, I guess you could say. So pretty cool, you know. And then this guy right here, he's a Greyjoy leader, but you can't use him as the general of a troop, I don't think. But he can be used to affect the court. So, yeah, I think his last name is like Iron Forger or something like that. Yeah, same here, Steve. I would really love that because as much as I'm cool with just making shit up, I would also be super cool with, you know. Now, this is unpainted Euron Greyjoy because I actually painted the metal one, the high quality, like super whatever metal one. You can tell it's Euron because he's got his patch on. Yeah, that guy's the house they're from is like the Iron Forgers or whatever, and they're the ones that generally make all of the weapons and everything that the Greyjoys use. But they're a minor house themselves. That you know it's you know Game of Thrones, so everyone's bound to somebody. And then these are the Reapers. And there's the guy I chose to lead them, that bald bastard. But these guys' whole deal is you'll notice they're wearing black cloaks instead of the green. Most of them do. And in game, they're pretty much line breakers. That's kind of their whole gig. You know, you send them out to break the line and don't cry too much when they all die because they're wearing a light armor. They have no shields. And their whole job is just to run in like berserkers and wreck shit. So, yeah. And the guy I've got leading them, I forget his name. I'd have to dig my cards out because every unit comes with a card that tells you who, you know, their leader is and where he's from exactly within the kingdom and any special abilities he has, etc. like that. So, yeah. And then what do we got here? Oh, yeah, this is the guy that was abused by Euron and eventually murdered by him. So let's put our berserkers up. We don't need them right now. So this unit, another unit of Ironborn, but from another island, not the main island. And this redheaded guy was the one that Euron abused a lot when he was a kid. And did eventually murder. And that's why the flag is like the green and black checkered, because that's their family. And then something I haven't painted yet because I've been lazy is these guys.
You got all the time in the world to be lazy.
I don't actually. When I get done here, I've got like tons of chores I got to do.
Oh yeah, what's the most intense chore you're gonna have to do, James? Make love to your wife?
No, that's easy. I'm going to have to,
James, you said you did that wrong. Why did you do that wrong?
I don't know, but these are the mountains men. But you notice the mountain isn't on here because the mountain gets his own damn base. He's one guy and he counts as his own unit because he's a straight up brutal bastard. That's why. Now up here, this is the metal Asha, and I haven't finished painting her. And I've also got like a unit of Ironborn archers and a bunch of other stuff like that I just need to really pull my head out of my. No, after I get done talking, my wife and I are deciding what we're gonna eat, and then I have to do all the floors, which is vacuum and mop and everything, and get the bathrooms done, and whatever other chores that she needs done, so that we can be ready when our guest arrives tomorrow. Because I mean that's kind of a thing,
Yeah.
The wife likes the house to be perfect.
Yeah.
Anytime we have guests, and I agree because I wouldn't win anyway, so I might as well disagree, honestly.
I know how that agree thing works, and that's why I said making love to your wife is the hardest thing you can do.
No,
you always try to make her happy.
Well, I mean, I've never had a problem with that.
Yeah. It is what it is, my friend.
It is what it is. SOCKS. And now, switching back, you guys can see the completely not finished 30K Lucian the Blade Master, who leads my 30K Emperor's Children. I finished the Blood Angels, haven't really finished the Emperor's Children yet. But, oh yeah, this guy. Some of you are going to like this guy. Some of you are not. But here he is, the best Primarch of all time ever in Warhammer 40K. No other Primarch can ever be as good as this guy. And anyone who says a Primarch can be as good as this guy is lying bitch. I'm just going to
haven't painted the wings yet. What's the matter?
They're actually painted white. White is the color of the wings.
Oh, okay. I thought that weren't.
What I haven't painted is the fur of the cat that's on him. It should have like markings, kind of like a cougar, or not a cougar, a leopard. And I haven't done that yet. But yeah, the gold armor and all of that's 100%. This is the Forge World thing. The only thing I've really did wrong is that he's got a scabbard on his waist, and the sword hilt is still in the scabbard, even though he's got the sword in his hand. That's, But because when I originally built him, I gave him the spear. And then the more I looked at it, the less I liked the spear. I was like, nah.
Hey, Steve Kenny, if we have extras, I will post up online where you can buy one of those. It might be just because we're only going to do like I said, 100, and they're 11 by 17, and you'll be able to buy one, and we'll ship it out to you or whatever. If you're not at DaveCon to pick one up yourself, but yeah, those are going to be that. And we have flip chips. I got to get those. I got your address somewhere around here. Is it on the box? No, it isn't. You didn't even put your address on the box. You realize that, James? That you sent me?
I thought I did.
Hold on here. Let me look.
There's one of my many camouflage Zeuses. Like currently on my game table, I have like 3 camouflage Zeuses, but none of them are actually camouflaged the same way,
Let's see here.
which is kind of crazy.
James's box.
Yeah, spare sword. That's what it is.
Tracy McKee at the UPS store.
Well, okay, never mind then. I can send you my address.
You better one of these days, because I'll send you some Dave Con swag.
So this is, I forget which Merrick Militia paint job.
Especially the flip chips. I think you'd love a flip chip at the table. Makes your players go, oh crap, he's pulling out a chip.
Yeah.
I don't know if any of your I don't know if anybody listening has ever seen one of those. I'll show you. Hold on a second here. I can find one.
Not a Warhammer. This is a hammer hand, which apparently comes from the Star League era, but they're still roaming around during the Succession Wars. Battlemaster. We need to redo his cockpit glass, because honestly, the cockpit glass should be in copper, not
Steve, these are the flip chips for my convention are made for Dungeon Masters, and they're simple chips that give you a yes, no, different sayings on them, so that when you're in game and you don't know what's going on, and your players are like, well, does they do this or don't do that? See, if you see on one side it says friend, dead, what's it say? Locked, trapped, and then on the other side it says the opposite.
Huh.
So when you're in game, it's like you're meeting somebody and the dungeon master is doing it off the cuff. Is this guy friendly or is he a foe? Is this door locked or is it unlocked? And stuff like that. So, and here's another one. This is from the first.
Nice.
And then the other side's, 1, 2, left, right. So the enemy will go left or the right or something like that. And then here's another year of it.
Those are cool.
So if you're surprised or they're surprised, or they're awake or they're asleep if you're walking in a room. And that's just some of the, and then I've got green ones coming this year for this year's convention. So there's 4 different ones for the
Steven Squidman. Actually, Steven, this would be Hastor the King in Yellow.
Well, it's half octopus.
It's Cthulhu, so
yeah.
That's just a thing.
So anyways, I give out the chips every year to everybody, and it just sort of enhances your game where you're sitting there and you're playing, and it's like, oh, well, I got to make a decision. Is this person chaotic, or is he evil, or is he good? And you just flip a couple of chips instead of you having to make up your mind. The chip does it for you, and you're just like,
that's really, really cool. I like that.
Random encounters, especially, it works out with. And if they're neutral creatures, you're just like, how does this person take this party confronting them? Is it a good confrontation or is it a bad confrontation? Is it a surprise, or is it, they already knew you were there, and what I would like to do is get dice sets. I'd like to find somebody to buy dice sets from somewhere that would be oddball dice, and
right.
that I could put together for Dungeon Masters every year, that do X number of hours of games at DaveCon, and then I can say, here is a set for you for doing all the dungeon mastering you do, and it would be like every die, was it 3 through 100 or whatever it is in the set, the ones that you can make.
Right. Like the ones that like DCC uses.
Yeah, I didn't include all the DCC ones, like the D14s and like here's a D14.
Yeah, and you got like the D30 and the D24.
This is one I would like to get redone, is the body where it hits at, where the person gets hit. So it's like, oh, well, you got hit in the swimsuit. Or you got hit in the head.
In the swimsuit. That's really bad. Yeah. No one wants to get hit in the swimsuit.
Yeah, nobody wants to get hit in the swimsuit. But you got hit in the neck, or you got hit in the, you know what I mean? Yeah. The head, the swimsuit, midriff, you know what I'm saying? So I'd like to put a set like that in north, south, east, west, dice that
right.
I contacted one guy at the convention down by you, James. That was what Crucible, or what do they call that one? Anyways, I talked to a guy there who was dealing dice, and I said, "How much for 100 of them?" And you know what he quoted me? $500. I was like, for one die, 500 for one die. I mean, come on. No, I'm not paying you that. I'm buying dice here. I'm trying to make a deal.
Yeah, these guys here are Draugr.
Yeah.
Anyone who knows anything about Norse mythology knows what Draugr are. So I have units of them, actually. That's just one 10-man unit. I've got many units. And then this guy, only the coolest people will know who this guy is. Only the very coolest will have any idea who that is.
That is a Mongolian.
You are wrong, sir.
Isn't that Mongolian? Or no, that's samurai. That's a samurai.
Kind of. Also, not really, though.
Well, it's pretty cool.
That is Yoritomo, the son of storms and the leader of the Mantis clan.
Oh.
They're more like Koreans, actually, than.
Oh, Korean. There you go. I thought they were Japanese.
From the game L5R, the war game. And yeah. And then this guy, if I can reach him, this is the character I play a lot in L5R. And that is just your standard samurai lion clan. That's why he's wearing all brown. And he's got that big freaking, I forget the name of that weapon. Yep, these are L5R miniatures. I still own a lot of them. I mean, a lot. Because not only did I buy the L5R box set, but, I bought a lot of the other miniatures, to build my Crane Clan guys and, all that sort of stuff. Like this guy is, of course, a Scorpion Clan Bushi. But could also be a Shugenja, or not Shugenja, Shinobi for all you know.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of them I have the back banners on and everything. It just really depends. But yeah, that big guy, he's in scale, and the reason he is that way is because he is literally the son of a kami. And which is like a powerful spirit / maybe even godlike being in Japanese mythology. And so he's basically gigantic, just a towering beast of a thing.
Uh-huh.
And because he helps out Yoritomo, not Yoritomo, what's his name, who had become a Ronin, they end up taking out the emperor who had been possessed by Fu Ling, the god of the underworld. And yeah. So what do we got over here? This is a pretty simple paint job I did on a Thunderbolt. Again, you can see I was going for like that 5th Merrick thing, but I haven't went back and did all the metallic yet or whatever. And then this is just a white Marauder, which means I primered it and I planned on painting it and then didn't.
Huh.
Because, you know, I do that.
Well, we know. You're lazy like that.
Well, the problem is I'll start on something and then I'll get distracted by something else.
Yep. I can hear your wife in the background. Did you know that? I don't know. You got your mic is extra sensitive today. I just heard her just a little bit ago.
Yeah. And then I have to do the top guns on this because I replaced them with better looking 3D printed ones. But this is I believe this might actually be an Imperial class battleship. From yeah, you see how it's got the Imperial Eagle on the top. And it's equipped with macro cannons, laser cannons, and then it's got shit ton of big guns on the top. And over the bridge, it's got the golden Imperial Eagle. This is a game I actually really used to like. If you ever played it, you'd probably like it. Battlefleet Gothic.
No.
It was a really good game, but like a lot of really good games that Games Workshop makes, they decided they would just not support it anymore. So
yeah, that's all that sales thing, you know. Oh, we didn't sell 100,000 units, so we're not going to support that anymore.
Oh yeah, that's the female Custodes. Like here's a frigate for the same game. You see the difference in size, obviously. Like the frigate is maybe 2 inches long. The other guy is like 6. So yeah, that all has to do with their decision to change the lore and say that females could be Custodes, which is absolute insanity according to the actual lore. And then all the people that they tried to sell that shit to refusing to buy them. So they basically just didn't sell what they wanted to sell. And so then they started telling stores, you know, that they couldn't have whatever. And yeah, it turned into a big shit show. But I still will never trust Games Workshop ever.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, what they're trying to pull there is just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, anyone that has the older Custodes Codex, it specifically explains what Custodes are. They're the firstborn sons of noble families from Terra. And they're taken in by the Emperor when they're infants. They're presented to the Emperor as infants. And then those that survive will become a Custodes, which is pretty much like take a Space Marine and make it 10 times better. I think because the Custodes gene seed is actually the Emperor's gene seed, right? I know some of them, they live thousands of years. They're like 12 feet tall. One of them would kill a whole squad of normal Space Marines like nothing, you know. They're just basically, they're like demi-gods, you know. There was even a fight between a Primarch and a Custode, and the Custode very nearly won. In the end, the Primarch won, but it wasn't like a guaranteed, I'm just going to whip your ass sort of thing. You know.
Elon Musk has got problems right now. I can't get on X.
Well, you know, the world do be like that.
Yeah,
I need to get going. My
Somebody
wife
dropped
should
that.
be off of work. She should be getting off work very soon. And then we're going to figure out dinner, and then I got cleaning to do.
Yeah.
But thanks for hanging out, Vic, and everyone else. Appreciate it.
I'm just going through the module for the convention and stuff like that while we were talking. And
awesome.
And yeah, I wish you were up here, man. Yeah, I had some new tricks I've thought of while driving around. You know me, and I was like, yeah, I bet you James hasn't seen some of these, and he'd use them when he gets into his game. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, the first edition of Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay was actually designed to go with the current edition at the time of Warhammer Fantasy Battle. But it is my opinion, Stephen, that the best version of Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay is second edition, which was put out many, many, many years ago, maybe 2 or 3 decades ago, by Green Ronin, written by Chris Pramis, who has since then become a maniac and just posts all day on Twitch or Twitter or whatever about what an asshole he is. That's basically his whole thing now, is just posting about how much of a dick he is, which is sad because, like I said, he created the best version of Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. And I'm including 4th edition, which all of my 4th edition stuff I sold. So, but happy trails. Goodbye. And avoid Tasagwa, I guess. I don't know.